Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Alex Haney Adventures. Today we are in the Everglades again, and we're hiking some easy trails as well as seeing some beautiful views and maybe even some alligators. Alright, so I started my day here in the Everglades at the Flamingo Visitor Center. The Flamingo Visitor Center is at the southernmost point here in Everglades National Park. And I stopped here because I saw images of crocodiles, and I wanted to come see if I could find a few crocodiles here. And when I was in the visitor center, the park ranger told me that just at a building over here there's a dam, and that dam separates two types of water. One's kind of brackish and one's a little bit clearer, and one there's manatees and the other there might be crocodiles. So I'm gonna head over that way and see if I can find any of these cool animals. All right, I haven't found any manatees since they're swimming in the water, and the water's kind of brackish, but they only come up to the top for a second, apparently, and then they come back down, so I haven't been able to see any. But there is a crocodile on the shore over here. It's through the branches. I'll see if I can get a good shot of it, but it's hiding beyond the branches over there. And I'm at the dam, and there's a place where it's blocked off, and I can't go any further, probably because of the crocodiles. So I'll see if I can get this shot, but I'm looking at him. He's about 8 feet long, maybe even a little bit longer. So that's pretty cool. You can see him just through the leaves there. He's a chunky boy. You can see both sides of the dam here. On one side it's definitely brackish water, and on the other side it's more brown, but it's clearer. And so I'm still keeping my eye out for the manatee, but because the water is so murky, I don't know if I'll be able to see one. And like I said, they only come up for just a second. So I'm gonna stand over here for a minute and then see if I can see one come up to the top. If not, I'm going to start heading back towards the north end of the park, or outside of the park, and see if I can hit a few hiking trails and do some sightseeing here. This area is beautiful, but I've only got a limited time in the park. All right, I didn't find any manatees, so I'm gonna be heading to the West Lake Trail. This was a trail that was recommended by the park ranger and should only take about 30 minutes. The West Lake Trail is an easily accessible trail that's just less than a half a mile long. It's flat almost all the way, and it walks you along this boardwalk that takes you along mangrove trees and out to views of this spectacular lake. Because the West Lake Trail is so easily accessible and so short, it only takes about 10 minutes to complete. I'm almost done with this hike, and I'm gonna head to the next spot. The next trail on my list is the Mahogany Hammock Trail. This trail is apparently covered in thick jungle and is home to the US's largest mahogany tree. All right, well, I've made it to the Mahogany Hammock Trail. It also starts on a boardwalk, but as you can see behind me, there's a grassland when you first get here, and then you're gonna walk through this tree tunnel that leads into the deeper forest. If I were walking through the Amazon, this is what I imagine it would feel like. I mean, the canopy is just so dense and there's so much vegetation around. If you're coming to the Everglades and you're looking for an easy, super quick, accessible hike, this is definitely one to do. You can tell how moist this area gets by the fungus here that grows on the wood on the boardwalk here. My next stop is the Pohe-Oki Trail. The Pohe-Oki Trail is another boardwalk trail, but this time it leads you to an area where you can overlook a huge grassland. Look at how expansive that grassland is behind me. It just goes on and on and on. How cool is that? Look, there's even a small perch in the water. That's pretty cool. He's just swimming there. I made it to the overlook where you can look over miles of beautiful grasslands. It's simply amazing. All right, our last trail of the day is the Anhinga Trail, and the Anhinga Trail is about a mile long and it starts at the Royal Palms Visitor Center. You have to walk past the Royal Palms Visitor Center to the right to start the trail. As soon as you start the trail, you come across the beautiful lake, and that lake has a few birds in it and maybe a few other creatures, and it's really, really pretty. This trail is supposed to walk along a swamp, so we have the possibility of seeing alligators and a few other animals, so I'm super excited. Oh look, we're coming up on a sleeping one here. Check him out, he's right here on the trail. Hey buddy. You know what's cool about alligators? Alligators aren't nearly as aggressive as crocodiles are. So a bunch of these alligators here in the Everglades just sit on the side of the trails and they just mind their own business and let tourists pass them by. They're calm animals, and as long as you leave them alone, they'll leave you alone. That is the third alligator I have seen in a matter of 100 feet here on the Anhinga Trail. What a great way to end the night. That's a chunky boy right there. In my opinion, the Anhinga Trail is the most beautiful trail of the day. I'm walking right now on the boardwalk, and I'm going over this kind of swampy area with a bunch of lily pads, and it's right here at sunset, and it's absolutely stunning. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. We spent another day here in the Everglades. It's been an absolutely amazing time. We got to see some beautiful sights, hike some awesome trails, and we even saw a couple of fish. Thank you for tuning into this episode of Alligators Adventures, and I'll see you on the next one.